In the digital history of football, Aaron Ramsey occupies a unique space, a career where moments of on-pitch success are shadowed by a series of high-profile tragedies. He's at the center of an eerie timeline, linking his goals to the deaths of icons like Whitney Houston, Steve Jobs, and Robin Williams. This is the story of the Aaron Ramsey Curse. Over the course of a decade, a series of random mathematical overlaps morphed into a persistent superstition, creating one of the most indestructible myths in the modern game. The phenomenon traces back to February 2010. A 19-year-old Ramsey was building a promising career at Arsenal when a horrific tackle resulted in a double leg fracture. After 9 months of rehabilitation, he finally returned to the pitch, scoring a milestone game-winning goal against Manchester United on May 1, 2011. The triumphant moment was immediately eclipsed the very next morning when news broke that Osama bin Laden had been killed. At the time, football fans noted the bizarre timing, but generally viewed it as a strange, isolated fluke. But anchoring a massive personal comeback to a defining global event created a powerful psychological link, setting the stage for the legend to take hold. 5 months later, that isolated fluke began to repeat. In October 2011, Ramsey scored against Tottenham. 3 days later, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs passed away. Just 2 weeks after that, Ramsey found the net in a European fixture. The following day, Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi was killed. As the overlaps continued, the internet began keeping a tally. Goals in the following years aligned with the deaths of Whitney Houston, Paul Walker, and Robin Williams, turning the Ramsey effect into a viral obsession. The tipping point arrived in January 2016. Ramsey scored on January 9th, and David Bowie died the next day. Just 4 days later, Ramsey scored yet again. The following morning, actor Alan Rickman passed away. By this point, the association was a permanent fixture in the mainstream sports cycle. For millions of fans, the timing of these deaths had become the primary lens through which they viewed Ramsey's goals. However, despite the eerie and unsettling timeline of these events, there is a completely rational explanation for why they appear linked. This is a textbook example of apophenia, the human brain's tendency to perceive meaningful connections within random data. When we look at the raw numbers, the mystery dissolves. Over 150,000 people die worldwide every single day. Because Ramsey played at the highest level for 15 years, a statistical overlap with public figures was inevitable. Out of his 80 career goals, fans have linked about 28 to a celebrity death. While a 35% hit rate seems high, it only works if you ignore every goal that didn't coincide with a headline. This is a classic case of confirmation bias in action. The public remembers the 28 hits and completely disregards the roughly 50 other times Ramsey scored and no famous person died. The curse is ultimately a product of our own psychology. Our brains prefer a cohesive, dramatic story over the boring reality of statistical probability. By August 2025, Ramsey had moved away from European football, signing with the Mexican club Pumas. In a debut match against Atlas, he delivered a dramatic 92nd-minute game-winning goal. 4 days later, the world learned of the death of legendary fashion designer Giorgio Armani. Social media exploded instantly, with fans claiming the phenomenon had successfully followed him across the Atlantic. The move to Mexico proved the legend was no longer tied to a specific league or stadium. As long as the internet tracked his career, the narrative would continue to update itself. Eventually, Ramsey retired from playing entirely. He stepped into a role as caretaker manager for Curtis City, a move that should have ended the myth once and for all. He was appointed on a Saturday. 2 days later, Pope Francis passed away. Rather than letting the coincidence expire, fans immediately changed the rules. They argued that the curse had simply evolved to include his managerial appointments. This shows that the legend isn't actually about football goals. It's about the resilience of the story itself. The Ramsey anomaly shows how a meme evolves into modern folklore. It reveals a culture so committed to a specific pattern that it will rewrite the rules of the legend rather than let the coincidence end.